So this is the new HD800S. As you can see, it's black in color as opposed to the silver of the HD800. I think they're beautiful headphones. A lot of people think they're a little bit alien looking, but so be it. From what I can tell, the screens are similar, if not identical. They look the same depth in the headphone. The part around it looks looks the same. The mesh on the outside of the headphone looks the same. So there's not much difference in the outside of the two headphones. And now we're going to take a look at the inside. And we'll start with the regular HD800. You take the liner material out by giving it a little pinch, and it just pulls right out like that. And now we have the inside of the HD800 here. And the place where the modification is going to happen is right in the middle here. And you can see this is just an open hole with a mesh behind it. And again, I'm going to try to use the flashlight so that you can see a little bit better what's going on in there. But you can see it's just mesh in there. Let's see if we can't get even closer. There's a little moire pattern built up that makes it look like a single screen back there, but it's really two screens making an interference pattern. And maybe the rear screen making an interference pattern with the fabric on the front of the headphone. The HD800 is a little bit different. As you can see now, there is a partial covering over the hole in the middle. And if we look at that one with a flashlight, let's see if we can't put some illumination on the subject. You can see that the space behind it is still empty. So we have a partial closing on the front, and then probably can't tell from the video, but it does appear that there is another mesh screen on the bottom of the well that is, I'm assuming, that makes this little well here a little resonator that becomes anti-resonant to the frequency of interest in the headphone. So in other words, at 5 kilohertz or wherever the exact bump is, at 5 kilohertz or so, this little tube here will be anti-resonant to a 5 kilohertz frequency and tend to diminish it. It's sort of like a Helmholtz resonator. So this is, from what I can tell, the only major change to the inside of the two headphones. And see if I can I really can't show them both at the same time very easily, but they're essentially the same. Not much difference I can see, except possibly that the fabric covering over the whole assembly is a little bit darker by the looks of it. So there may be a little bit more acoustic impedance of this fabric over this area right here. And so now we have the modification by Saroja, who's a Super Best Audio Friends enthusiast in France. And this is basically just a very small donut with a couple of different materials on it, and you can get the detail on that in the article and on the thread on SBAF to have a look at it. But the important thing is it is closed on the bottom. It does close off this hole, which is something that Sennheiser did not do, but that Saroja, after many trials and playing around, And he has a measurement system too. It's not like my measurement system, so the measurements are a little bit different, but he can see what happens when he changes something and what it affects on the measurements. And so he tried a lot of things, and this is the best thing that he found. And I'm going to show you now how to install this in the HG800. So first, just to make life a little bit easier on myself, we're going to take the ear cup off. Basically, there's a pin right here that the earpiece swivels on, and this pin is removable by pushing it out from the bottom right here. And then, so we'll do that. I've got a very very thin, sharp flat-bladed screwdriver tool. So I take the tip of my tool. There's a little divot in the pin, a little punch hole in the pin, so your tool stays in the right place. Just give it a nice firm push, and it moves in just a little bit. And then on the back side of the housing, you can see that the pin has moved up, and now it's far enough out that I can carefully get an edge under it with my tool and raise it up, which frees up the pin and comes out, and now the headband comes off the earpiece. So now I can work on it with a little bit more ease. So we're going to zoom in here so you can get a nice close look. So this fabric I've already removed once, so it's going to be much easier for me to do this time. The glue that's holding this fabric on, and also this headphone's a little messy because it used to have the felt mod for the annex on it, so this is a little bit of glue residue. So taking this film off, it's held on by kind of feels a little bit like a silicone glue. It's kind of like that glue that they glue perfume samples in magazines. It's just gooey stuff. And it allows you to put the fabric back on and it will stick, although I'm sure it's not as good as original. The other thing to note here is that the driver diaphragm itself is quite close to this. It's within sort of a 1/4 inch or so of the back of this fabric, and so you need to be very, very careful not to poke your tool or whatever through this the holes and get at the fabric. So to get the fabric off, what you need to do is press on these little rectangular openings here, and what it will do is we'll pull off the edge of the fabric from its the glue seal around the edge, and then we've got to pick away at this to get enough of a piece of fabric to pull, and I like to go right over one of the ribs so that I don't inadvertently pick through and hit the driver diaphragm, and then I just press the fabric up against my finger with the tool, and it will slowly but surely come off. And again, this is a little easier the second time around, but there you have it. And I'm trying not to take it all the way off, but there we go. So now we have the center hole of the driver exposed. You can see that the driver is in a ring around here with an open central hole, and this is where the magic happens, I guess. Anyway, so we're going to take the Super Dupont mod and just very simply put it in the middle of the headphone and gently get it in the right place, and then press it in, and voila, it's in. Now you just have to let the fabric down and push it down a little bit, working your way over to the edge that you've removed it from, and then you want to rub around a little bit to get it to re-adhere to that gooey glue material. Okay, voila, that one's finished. And now we simply just, I usually put the desk cover about where it goes and then press in so it's positioned about properly, and then tuck the edges underneath bit by bit. It's a little awkward at first, but once it gets going, it goes in quite easily. And so there you have it, a finished, modified Super Dupont HD 800. So, the French fight back. All right, and now comes the time to put these two back together again. The thing to note here is this little springamabob inside the headphone, and it goes on this little post right here, and it mates with another post inside here. So these two, this spring has to be over both posts, and that's a bit of a trick. So basically, what I've found, and it takes 3 hands to do this, but it is to get a needle nose plier, put this little spring on the needle nose, and then put it in place between the two. And as you can see, it's a bit of fidgeting going on here. Okay. Once it's in there and closed, then you can take the pin and put it back in. Give it a good press. And it does take quite a bit of pressure to get it all the way in. And there it is. Now it's back installed and your headphones are whole again. Okay. Thanks for watching.